Hi folks, I'll keep getting these ideas, these flashes of inspiration, so I think it's probably a good idea to share them with you. Not sure about the angle in the kitchen and the hat and the gilet, but it just tends to work, so let's go with that. So yeah, weight loss talk tomorrow night, my first free one. I did a sort of mini talk to some staff at a nursery on Friday just gone, and it's sort of opened a few eyes really. I think where I'm going with this is the common sense approach. I think we're overcomplicating things a little bit when it comes to sort of weight loss and health, to be honest, it's really a lot of common sense. So what I'm going to just quickly talk about today is something that I get asked a lot, which is the best way to lose fat. I think the best way to lose fat is to understand why you gained it in the first place. So when people are talking about fat loss, weight loss, calorie counting and cutting, blah, 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 why is it that you would have got overweight in the first place? Why would you have allowed yourself for your body to store excess fat, so excess adipose tissue? Why would you have done that when technically speaking, I mean, no one really knows what's going on, but technically speaking, your body's a survival machine. So why on earth would you allow yourself to become overweight in the first place? That's really the question I want to ask yourself. Now, that particular concept or theory has never really been controversial. I mean, if you look back over the history, the science behind how fat is stored in the body has never really been in question. I think people tend to question it when they try and overcomplicate and sell you stuff. I think if you look at the actual concepts of why we store fat in the first place, it's actually, for most people, fairly straightforward. It doesn't always follow the script in terms of where it's stored and so on, but it's actually quite straightforward where fat is stored and how fat is stored in the body. So that's the key question I want you to ask yourself, is really, why would you hurt yourself in the first place? Why would you eat anything that would make you fat in the first place? And what is driving the fat storage? So maybe don't take your eye off the what do I do to get rid of it, and then go, well, hang on a minute, how did I get here in the first place? Because doing the same thing that you were doing to store it, or doing less of the same thing for you to store it, would just mean you'll store it slower. Makes sense. Rather than actually saying, well, actually, if I'm eating a lot of bread, pasta, rice and cereals, which is what is the standard diet in this country, then cut the shit. Don't give me this crap about people eating fat and meat, because no one's eating fucking fat and meat. You speak to 1,000 people off the streets in the UK, ask them what they're eating, forget the studies, forget the smart arses, forget the insulin hypothesis twats. Go and speak to 1,000 people on the fucking streets and ask them what they're eating, and they will tell you, I had toast or cereal for breakfast, I had a sandwich for lunch, and I had some sort of pasta or cottage pie or something with carbs in for D. That is what I see. I'm out on the streets training people. That is what everybody or most people have in their diet. So if that's what you're eating and you're overweight, well, surely you need to stop eating that stuff first rather than eating less of it, because most people are having whole grain cereals, whole grain bread, brown bread, they're having no butter, they're having da-da-da-da, and they're still gaining the weight. So that's what I want you to get into when you're looking at fat loss, weight loss and things like that. Look at common sense and look at what everybody's doing that's driving fat storage. It's not, and they're not having whole foods, they're not even eating a lot of meat. A lot of people do not eat a lot of meat. That's one of the biggest myths, I think, when you're out there talking to real people on the streets. Forget controlled studies that are funded by the food industry. Look at what's actually happening on the streets. So go around and survey your friends. If you're overweight, go and ask 20 of your friends what they're eating, and I guarantee you it will be something like carb breakfast, carb dinner, carb evening meal, primarily is the foundation of the diet. So that's arguably what's making them fat in the first place. So instead of trying to say, well, what do I do to fix it, I'm going to swap my bacon sandwich for a bowl of muesli. Who has a bacon sandwich? Who has the time to eat a bacon sandwich for breakfast? Seriously, how many people that have an actual bacon? I know most people that love a bacon sandwich for breakfast. Most people are having what? Bowl of cereal. Ask them with milk, but then that's just what I mean. They're trying to eat less of that. Does that make sense? So very quickly, instead of looking at instead of trying to stop yourself getting fatter and make yourself lose weight, look at what did it in the first place, and I guarantee you, you'll see a pattern forming when you speak to real people on the street. There you go, speak to you soon. Don't forget, tomorrow night, you Birmingham people, Wednesday 12th February, 7:30 start, Walker Memorial Hall, Ampton Road, Edgbaston. I'll put a link on the bottom for some details. Get in touch please on Facebook as well. Looking forward to seeing as many as you can there. Thanks, I'll see you then. Cheers, bye.